I come up with a lot of different project ideas, and for every good idea or cool furniture design I come up with, I probably have about 10 more bad, ugly designs like this dead fish table. And usually an idea like this, I would just let it sit in my sketchbook forever and not do anything with it. But for as much as I don't like the design of this table as a whole, I do like a lot of the small features and weird shapes that make up the table, and that makes me want to make it. So in this video, I'm going to make this very weird and ugly fish table. Now, I don't really want to waste any of my good material on this table design, so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get rid of a lot of the reclaimed wood that I've been hoarding. And I'm going to start out by using this big oak post to make the front leg of the table. I don't really do a ton of lathe work, so I'm really not the best at it. Luckily though, I'm not really doing anything that crazy. I'm just going to be turning a very basic 3-inch cylinder to be that front leg. And that is very wide for a table leg, I know, but I figured that the design only has 3 legs, so I should make those legs pretty beefy. Also, I really should do more lathe stuff. This part was a lot of fun. Once I did have the leg turned, I cut out about a 1/2-inch disc from the top of the leg, and that is going to be the fish eye for the table design, which is also going to double as a coaster that you can remove and wash, so you have a place to set your drink without worrying about staining the table permanently. So I have to add that X across the fisheye, and I'm going to do that on my miter saw. The only problem is that this is a disc, which isn't very miter saw friendly, so I'm going to glue it down to a square piece of scrap, and then I can cut a slot in the disc at a 45-degree angle. And then I can fill that slot with a strip of walnut that I cut, and then I'm going to go back to the miter saw and cut the other slot, intersecting it, going 45 degrees in the other direction. And then I can glue in the other strip to make the X. Then I can trim down those strips of walnut and round over all the ends so that it's not so sharp when you pick it up. I'm done with the fisheye for now, so I can set that aside and start working on gluing up a panel that will make up most of the tabletop. And I wanted this tabletop to be pretty hefty, at least around 1.5 inches thick, but most of the reclaimed oak that I had left was under 1 inch, except for these big beams. So I didn't really have any other choice but to resaw those beams, which as you can see was a very slow process, painfully slow, but I won't make you suffer too. We'll just fast forward through that part. I also had to resurface all the faces and edges of these resawn boards so that I could glue them together without getting a bunch of gaps. And when gluing up these boards into a panel, I was hoping that I could make the head and the tail of the fish from just one panel, so that I didn't have to go through the pain of gluing up another one. Unfortunately, the panel came out a little bit smaller than I expected. I ended up losing more material than I thought I would from resurfacing and joining all the edges, but that just meant that I had to be a little bit more creative when cutting up this panel. So the fish head and tail are cut out now, and I just have to drill a 3-inch hole in the fish head for the leg to fit into. And luckily I only have to drill one of these holes because the hole saw bit that I'm using for this is extremely dull, as you can see from the smoke. But I was finally able to burn my way through the material. So once the hole was drilled and I started fitting the leg into place, I realized that I probably made the leg a little bit too big. Luckily though, with enough force, I was finally able to get the leg in place, and I didn't seat it all the way down. I left about a ½ inch of space, and that is so that I can fit the coaster over the top of that leg, and it will be flush with the tabletop. Next, I'm going to make the stretcher piece that connects the tail and the head, and that means more cutting, joining, and planing to get a usable workpiece. At this point, I am starting to regret the decision of using all reclaimed material on this project, but anyways, once I removed all that material to get a usable piece, I removed some more to make it not so blocky and remove the sharp edges. Now, the end of this stretcher piece is flat, which means it's not going to butt up flush against the rounded table leg. So next, I need to cut out a sort of cove on the end of this stretcher so that this stretcher piece actually can fit tight against the table leg. So now I'm able to attach the stretcher to the rest of the tabletop parts, and you can see I got a really good fit on that rounded table leg, which I was very happy with. And by screwing the leg to the stretcher, I was able to force the leg square to the tabletop and make everything a lot more structurally stable. I also had to make the back legs for the table, which was honestly pretty basic and boring. It's more of the same stuff. You're just cutting out the leg shape and rounding over all the edges. So I'll kind of just fast forward through that. The more interesting part now is how I attach the legs to the table. And for that, I'm going to use a bunch of biscuits. First, I'm just using biscuits to align the leg where I want it to be attached to the tabletop, but then I'm also going to spline that leg joint for strength. And I've done this biscuit spline joint idea before on some past projects. You may have seen that, but this time was a lot easier because I didn't have to make my own hardwood biscuits with, normal woodworking tools. I just used my laser cutter and cut out a bunch of these walnut biscuits that look really awesome, and they also add a lot of strength. More strength than normal biscuits because of the grain direction. Now the two ends of this tabletop are done, but all those middle pieces, those ribs of the fish, are still needed, which unfortunately for me means that I have to glue up another panel. The upside though is that the reclaimed wood that I'm using for this panel is a lot nicer. This is oak from a newer pallet, so I didn't have to put in as much work to resurface all the edges, and there wasn't so many bug holes and rot. Once I had this panel glued up, I cut it in half again, and I'm going to glue it back together with some splines. And I know that this probably just looks like I'm wasting time re-gluing and cutting the same piece of wood over and over again, but this is another instance of me trying to get creative with my cuts and my material so that I can hopefully avoid the dread of having to glue up another panel. So you'll see now by re-gluing the panel into this shape, I'm going to be able to get a lot more yield when cutting out those fish rib shapes, which I'm going to do that right now with my jigsaw. You might have noticed that I'm using my jigsaw a lot in this video, which sometimes makes sense, but for something like cutting out these ribs, a bandsaw would probably be a lot faster and easier. The only reason I'm not using my bandsaw is that the blade is super dull, and I keep forgetting to buy a new one until I go to use it. But I have a pretty good jigsaw, so this wasn't too difficult. I did have to do a lot of sanding to really dial in the shape, but I did that off camera because, sanding is boring. Now, I didn't really think too much about how I was actually going to attach these ribs to the stretcher when designing the table, but I decided that the easiest way to do this would probably just be with some dowels. And this worked pretty well. The only problem was I didn't always drill the holes perfectly in a straight line, which I didn't really notice when I was drilling the holes, but once you have the ribs in place, it becomes very noticeable because any misalignment gets amplified by the length of the ribs, if that makes sense. So what started off as kind of crooked in the middle looks super crooked on the ends of the ribs. So I just cut out a bunch of spacer blocks and used those to make sure that all the ribs were aligned with each other and not crooked. And then once the glue actually dried, they held their shape pretty well. At this point, the table was really starting to look like the drawing, and the only parts that I needed to make now were some supports to connect the legs and give the table more stability. And I ran out of my supply of reclaimed oak, but I did find these poplar beams that should make some pretty good leg supports once they're cleaned up. And now for the fun part, I'm going to use a few different router bits to shape the leg supports. First, I'm going to use this cove bit to cut a small recess in the side of the leg support, and then I'm going to use the biggest roundover bit I have to roundify the leg support. And now this dowel needs to fit in between those back two legs, which is angled outward at an angle that I don't actually know, but I was just able to guess and check a bunch of times until the piece fit right. Originally, my plan from the drawing was to have this support tenon through those back two legs, but with the legs going out in an angle, that made it a little bit tricky, and I didn't really want to figure it out, honestly. So instead, I just decided to screw the support in place, which will be strong enough, and I'm going to fake that through tenon by just drilling a hole and placing a dowel on the other side of the leg. Alright, so I lost the original footage of this next part of the table build, but here's a dramatic reenactment of what I did. So I wanted to add a few more of those biscuit splines to this fake through tenon, just to make it look a little less plain, except this time when splining, I want to spline in sort of this X shape to match the fish eye. And since these are overlapping cuts, I have to cut the first spline before gluing in the second spline for this to work. And then it'll look something like this. Alright, now back to the original footage. Now I need to make the other support, which is going to connect the back legs to the front leg. And this process starts out as more the same as the other leg support. I'm just going to be using that giant roundover bit again to turn this workpiece into a dowel. But this time I'm going to add another step by thinning out the end of that dowel on my table saw. And the whole reason I'm even doing this, thinning out the end of the dowel, is because I want to connect the two supports with a through tenon, and I'm not going to be able to do that if the dowels are the same size. So I have to thin out one of the dowels, and once it's thinned out, I can just drill a hole and the support beam can fit into that. So here's the finished table, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. If I had unlimited money, it would have been nice to see how this table would have turned out with some better material, without having to fill all those voids, but this is still pretty nice. And I really like all the little details on this table, from the spline joints and the fisheye coaster, and the back leg support that is a magazine holder. And I didn't really explain that earlier, but yeah, that's the reason that I cut the cove in the back leg support. It's a little recess to hold a few magazines if you want, and it gives the leg supports some more noticeable purpose. Anyways, it's an interesting table, and it was a really fun build, but honestly, I still think the design is kind of ugly. At least for my house, it doesn't really fit. So to get it away from me, I gave it to my brother, and he seems to like it.